Side Scrollers is brought to you by you. If you'd like to support the show, head over to patreon.com/sidescrollers. It's time for Side Scrollers on youtube.com. With me, Stuttering Craig. You got a goal? Go get it. Adam Krigler.
Hey, buddy.
Blabs.
I want sunshine, I want flowers, and I need it now.
And producer extraordinaire, Travis Key.
Hi, guys.
And brought to you by you, the G2 community, at patreon.com/sidescrollers. And now, broadcasting from our homes, it's time for the number one gaming and entertainment podcast on planet Earth. It's time for Side Scrollers.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh. There you go. Welcome on out to Side Scrollers on youtube.com. What's going on, everybody? Hey, I'm Stuttering Craig. Welcome to the number one video game and entertainment podcast on planet Earth. It's Side Scrollers. You ready to have a great day? Let's freaking go. Good to see everybody. Welcome on out. Joining us as always, the king himself from his lounge. Look at this. Look at this guy in his sweet, sweet background. How's that piano behind you? That wonderful piano, Trav.
Good. I didn't have red.
No, okay. We'll get to that in a minute. Also joining us today we decided to go lumberjack apparel because why the fuck not? It's Adam Krigler.
No, we didn't plan this. What are you talking about? We didn't decide to do this. This was all natural. Okay?
All natural. Just hop on in. All looking good. It's good. It's good. This is the first time I've actually worn a collar on this show, which was a big deal. I went to breakfast this morning with a friend and I wore a collar out of respect. So I decided to keep it on. So here we are. Do you guys wear collars out of respect when you go to hang out with you? I don't know. I just felt the need to wear a collar today, and it's just kind of a casual
I stay comfortable out of respect.
Good point.
That's the vibe.
I understand. Also joining us today, as always, straight from the Guam
Mountains. Mountain cave.
There she is. It's our Guam lumberjack, Blabs.
You know, I wasn't even wearing flannels today and plaid. I was wearing a random blue sweater, and Adam's like, it'd be so funny if you would just change. So
I didn't say that. That was Craig.
That is Adam.
Whoa, that was Craig.
Adam was like,
Blabs,
change your outfit.
That was not me.
Good.
What the hell is wrong with you? That was Craig.
Patricia?
Is his name Patricia? Craig, is your name Patricia?
I'm kind of offended by that, to be honest with you. Kind of.
So.
You know what I feel like we need to do? Hold on.
Craigisha.
I'm going to do this on the fly. Hold on.
Oh, man.
Yep. I'm going to do a little bit of editing on the fly. Hold on.
Oh, jeez.
Listen.
I don't know what he's going to do.
We got to.
Afraid.
Are we up? Are we still good?
Afraid?
I don't like how Blabs just instantly blamed me. I did not do that. That was not my idea.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was Craig.
I recorded like backstage shit just for all the shit.
By all means.
Like evidence, receipts.
Yeah, it would have proven me right and you wrong.
Might I add that I did have a red one, and if anybody who went to Vegas with us would have saw me in that same shirt, Blab is wearing the same exact one.
It's actually Travis's shirt. I just shrunk it down a little bit just to fit me.
But I throw shit away every couple of years, so I got blue today. We're red, white, and blue though.
We're patriotic.
There we go. All right. I'm doing this on the fly in the background, just for fun. Just to really emphasize the red. There we go. We got Tiny Trav in the corner. does not represent.
Ow. You can't sit with us.
Hey, it makes sense if you think about a flag, right? There's less blue, red, white. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there'd be a lot more white then, wouldn't there?
Well, you guys are all white.
That was racist.
God, you're so racist. It's ridiculous.
Did you just assume my race?
Golly. All right. Well, here we are. Good to see everybody. Thanks so much for finding us. We are almost 35,000 strong. I think we actually just passed 35,000 over on YouTube. Let me do a quick glance. I think it's important. But yes, 35,000 strong, growing like a weed. The fastest growing podcast in the history of the internet, outside of Joe Rogan and several others. 35,012 strong. That's awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you guys very much. And we are at just over 230 patrons, which is outstanding. Thank you guys very much for your continued support over there. As a reminder, if you guys like listening to the show as well, you can find us over on Spotify and iHeartRadio. That's a wonderful place to listen to the show if you like the MP3 version. And of course, make sure you guys rate us and do all that fun stuff. And of course, Side Scrollers is now on Rumble. The not live yet, but you can watch the show in the post variety, as well as any videos that go up. You can find us over there as well. So just search Side Scrollers. You can find us over there. We get a big day, mostly of Nintendo stuff, Nintendo and End of the World stuff. I think that's where we're going with this. Nintendo and End of the World today. It's a big show because look, here's the reality. Zelda has some new gameplay today. Adam, have you seen the gameplay?
I have not. I purposely have been avoiding it because I want to see it live.
Excellent. We absolutely are going to be doing it live. Blabs, have you seen it?
Nope.
Okay.
I'll do this just so I can see it live too.
Trav? Wonderful. Okay. Good. We're going to get into that. I don't know if we're going to actually play it because we'll probably get flagged for Nintendo for showing off the trailer, of course.
Really?
Nintendo.
Yeah, Nintendo's weird about that, man. They're crazy.
How are we going to do it then?
I'll just kind of show cool small snippets. We won't be able to play through the entire.
Okay.
Listen, here's the thing. We get flagged. Fuck it. We get flagged. Okay. I know that we're gonna.
That's the energy,
right? Fuck it. We get flagged. Okay.
Flag 'em.
Hey, Lars
Flag 'em.
came in with the 20 DKKs.
Must be Dutch.
I think that's Danish kroner.
All right, give it up for the Kroners. Let's go. It says hi, hello. Hey, thanks,
Hi,
Lars.
hello.
Why, hello to you, sir.
For how many nice things we say about Nintendo, they'd be stupid to flag us. Sorry.
Oh my God! Listen, there's so many companies that are.
They don't watch our show.
No, they have no idea that
They
we
don't
exist.
know who we are. Ugh.
Absolutely not. And Mega King Mikey Tendo came in with that tier 1 sub for 2 months. It's 2 months, baby. Hey, let me say something about Mikey Tendo really quick. Mikey Tendo is a great G2, right? And when we got started, he was really hyped about side scrollers. And then we got started and we're kind of finding our sea legs. And he's like, I don't know if this show's for me. And he reached out to me. He's like, I don't know. You guys sometimes you guys dip into politics and stuff. And I was like, yeah, we're still finding our legs. We'll figure it out. And he reached out to me and he goes, look, just want to let you know, I was wrong. You guys are finding your sea legs and this is great. And I love it. And I'm glad you guys are doing your show. And I was like, that's awesome. Thanks so much for being patient with us. And as we figure this thing out, because that's what we're doing every day. We're figuring it out. We get to figure it out with you guys. So yeah, it's good. Thank you, Mikey. Appreciate that. But yeah, there we go. We're going to talk a lot of Tears of the Kingdom today. And I'm very intrigued to see what you guys say. You guys got anything before we get into all the fun news and topics of the day?
Hi, chat. I love you. Mwah. All right, let's go.
Let's go in an intro, just so you know.
That should be her intro.
Absolutely. Trav, get the time code on that. There you go. Mm-hmm. And RevX came in.
Don't ever change mine, by the way. I love it.
Okay, sounds good.
I like my sunshine and flowers too. I'm just saying.
Nope, it's being changed.
Oh man.
RevX came in with the £1.99 super chat. Says time to learn if Breath of the Wild 2 will feel like DLC or not. I am intrigued, very intrigued, and I'll be intrigued to see what the G2s have to say about this. Once again, this is an interactive show. Please make sure you guys are being a part of the conversation in the chat. We will obviously highlight it for sure. And Brad Kirschlaw says, and the chat loves you, Blab.
Blab.
You don't even get your plurals right.
You're about to say pronoun.
Well, he's gonna say your plurals right. Ridiculous.
Sadness.
Oh,
I'm multiple people now.
B version says Blabs is little sunshine. Little sunshine. All right, you guys ready to get into this thing? It's time for my favorite segment. Your favorite segment. Everybody in the world's favorite segment. It's time for
hard news. Oh shit.
What happened?
Hard news.
That was like a discount over there.
Actually, I don't know. I feel like it probably sounded good anyway. No?
That's okay.
It's different.
That's okay.
It's different. Thank you, Blabs. Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. So the big news today
is hard news.
Sorry.
I like that. That's the best. That's the best. That's like the
to.
Kool-Aid guy. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. There we go.
All right. So the big news today was Nintendo released 10 minutes of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom gameplay. and it was walked through by the director of the franchise, and he kind of went through and said, so we'll watch a little bit of it here, and if we get flagged, we get flagged. But the big thing is, they open up and they talk about, well, we'll just watch a little bit. And Adam, you tell me when to stop when you want to stop. Okay, does that sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sounds good. And Blabs, obviously you as well, and Trav, you as well. There we go. Streamline says, I'm guessing James is tomorrow then. So once again, for those asking about the James interview, it's going to be a pre-recorded interview. I'm going to be recording it, and then I'm going to let you guys know when it's going to be released. It's not going to be like I'm recording it, and then the next day it's up. We're going to make sure to promote it so word gets out about it, and then it'll be released. So sometime next week, though, for sure. So, all right, let's get into this thing.
Like The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, there's a vast world to explore. Of course, it's not just the same world as is. It's changed in many ways. If we talk about all of the changes today, we'll run out of time, so we hope you'll seek them out for yourself when the game launches.
On the surface, the game visually looks the exact same.
Yeah,
Like it
does.
one for one, almost exactly the same. Same color palette, same just overall visual
environments.
Yes, very much so.
I've never played a Zelda game ever.
Wow.
I know, it's weird.
Okay.
It's weird.
Okay. All right.
You're gonna be all right, Craig. You're gonna be all right.
Just
You need a tissue, Craig.
trying to figure out what I'm doing on this in life here with Blabs. All right, let's continue on.
Rough. Damn.
In this game, the vast world of Hyrule reaches high into the sky. You'll notice some landmasses floating up there. We call them Sky Islands.
That's obviously a change from the first game. It was all pretty much played on the ground. But I will say the highlights of the original Breath of the Wild included climbing up to really high points and then just looking over vast areas.
I own that game.
What's
never
that?
Played it. I own Breath of the Wild on the Switch. I just never played it.
Oh,
Is it
well,
good?
Yeah, it's excellent. I mean, I loved it. I thought it was really fun. And there's so much there's so much that's happening in the game that you can play it for, thousands of hours and not have the same adventure again. It's super fun.
Isn't this almost like throwing in Skyward Sword with, you know what I'm saying, mixing the two games almost?
That was the initial thing because there's sky elements to it. So people are like, oh, Skyward Sword, but I don't know. I'm not quite sure yet. I don't know enough, but they go into some different power ups here. But I will say this, kind of echoing what I was saying a second ago about the highlights were like looking over big areas of land, so much so that when you first come out of your cave in the first Breath of the Wild, that's the big set piece is you walk to the edge and you look over all of Hyrule for the first time. And it's like, whoa. So I think they're like doubling and tripling down on this idea.
You're probably wondering something. How do you get to the Sky Islands when they're so high up? If we take a look, oh, something's falling from the sky. Do you see it? I wonder what that is. Let's head over to it.
Fucking meteor just falling from the sky.
We're almost at the spot where the object fell. Here it is. Okay, let's use one of Link's new abilities. If you do this on the rock that just fell... Look, it started rising. This power is known as recall, which rewinds an object's movement. Since I just used recall on the fallen rock, I can now rise into the sky. We're a lot closer to the Sky Islands. Let's use the paraglider to reach one of them. There are a few other Sky Islands floating here too.
So first thoughts?
The graphics are kind of shit. I don't know if it's supposed to be like if it's being worked on or what.
Yeah, I don't know what it was about Breath of the Wild. I bought the Switch for Breath of the Wild, and I couldn't get into it. I've talked about this before, and I don't know. There was something about it that I didn't enjoy as much as previous Zelda games. I love Zeldas. Zeldas have always been. Link's Awakening was my first Zelda game. Actually, maybe A Link to the Past. I don't remember which one I played. I think maybe A Link to the Past I played at a friend's house, and then I got Link's Awakening. I really like the top-down style of Zelda, and then the very seldom side scroller esque type that would be thrown in there randomly. The open world, I really loved Zelda when it came out on 64. That one was fantastic. I don't know, something about Breath of Wild didn't resonate with me the same, and I never finished it. I don't really use my Switch, and looking at this, it feels like it's gonna be the same kinda style, and, that sounded really, like, cheesy, the rewind, it all I mean, it feels like they could have made it a little more Zelda-y in Hyrule speak instead of just, "Oh, this one, it's rewind." Like,
Right.
that's alright, cool.
Well, let's
Gimmicky, it feels gimmicky, that's what I'm
One
thinking
of the
of.
things now I've never played it, take it with a grain of salt. One of the things I've noticed watching it is Breath of the Wild doesn't make you attached to the characters like the other Zelda games did, at least for me. Like you don't, like in Ocarina of Time, you wanted to win to save the princess to do all this. You know what I mean? And to me, you fell in love with each of the three little people that you had to get and all that.
right.
And Breath of the Wild, it's more of an open world game. So to me, there's less of that, if that makes sense.
Right. I'll say with Breath of the Wild, the one thing, I saw a comment that said, directionless gameplay is not for everyone, and I agree. I
Yeah.
think, with this take on the Zelda franchise, it's radically different than what most people are used to with Zelda, and it's a big hit or a big miss. I think it's fun for somebody who has, like, I've never really gotten into Skyrim. I've never gotten into these big, like, open world adventures. So for me, it's like a really great beginner journey into that, while
Okay.
still having some, like, advanced elements. The idea of, like, crafting and making food, and they make it fun and quirky. Like, I appreciate that stuff. I think it's neat. And, like, my kids really enjoy it. They like just walking around and doing nothing in video games. They like just exploring and seeing what happens here and stuff. Um, and that's kind of interesting to see, because I've been so objective based when it comes to video games. Get this, get the Triforce, and beat this boss, move on to the next level. Whereas this is just like, here you go figure it out. And I go back to, like, the very opening of Zelda, of Breath of the Wild, where you go and you meet the king, and then the next thing it says, the next objective it gives you is to defeat Ganon, and that's like your first objective, and that's the last objective, and then everything in between there is up to you to figure out how to beat Ganon, which I think is pretty cool. I think
I
it's
think the directionless gameplay is a good way, an accurate depiction of what this game is. And I loved Elden Ring, and Elden Ring is very similar in the sense where you can go anywhere you want, and you can find yourself all the way to some of the hardest shit and still be completely underpowered, because it's completely open. But it's something that I've grown to expect from Dark Souls, well, from Software more specifically, like Bloodborne, Sekiro, like you can kind of just you don't have to go the linear path. There is a linear path if the way they design the game, but you don't have to go that way. Whereas Zelda, you have to this path is blocked until you unlock this, and then you can actually go through that path now that you've unlocked it, and then it goes into a new area. And maybe there's something about that's not what I expect out of Zelda games. So this style of gameplay was not something that I wanted when I started playing this game. Where I do like those kind of games. I love Skyrim, Morrowind, Oblivion. I love the Elder Scrolls series. Looking forward to 6 whenever the hell that comes out.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know. There's something about this Zelda meeting this style just didn't do it for me. I don't know how to describe it.
To me, this comes off as like Shadow of the Colossus. If you guys ever played that for PS2,
Sure.
great
Yeah.
game.
Great game, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not Zelda. You see what I'm saying?
I
And
think right. I
I
think
had
a
the
lot.
same issue.
Right. I think a lot of people thought Shadow of the Colossus on the surface looks like a quote unquote Zelda clone, right? That's what it looks like from the outside looking in. You go in and play it, the play's different, right? Get it. But yeah, let's take a look at this next ability here. I think this is kind of this is really interesting, very interesting.
This is called Fuse,
Let me check this out real quick.
of Link's new abilities. If we use this branch and the rock over here and do this, look, we can stick them together.
That's cool.
We created a
Get rid of
makeshift
rock.
hammer.
Right. Yeah.
This is called Fuse. You can stick objects together to create new weapons with various effects. Let's take on another construct with this fused weapon.
These are called constructs, by the way. So
We're dealing with 2 of them at once. Oh, we beat one. The weapon's attack has definitely improved.
so the idea that you can take
I'm less interested in this game now.
really by the idea of,
As it
It's kinda like
progresses, I'm getting
endless.
less and less interested in this game.
really wow.
Yeah.
In Zelda, you earn all the items and abilities. That's always the way it's been. Like, is this something
Agreed.
you just have? Just it's in there. It's just yours now. You do it. It's some skill everybody has. You know what I mean?
Wow. Well, man, that's interesting, Travis. I didn't really think of it like that. The idea that you earn these different things as opposed to crafting them. I never really considered that.
This kind of looks like endless possibilities with everything that you can do, and I feel like maybe that might be just a bit much and a bit overwhelming. Like, oh, you can do this, but you can also do like a million other things.
right.
And
So
then-
Yeah,
I
someone in chat said something, and I was like, that's interesting. They said, so games can't do something new. It's like, by all means. I mean, everyone seems to love this game. I personally don't. So, like, why does it matter what my opinion is on something that I'm not interested in? You know, by all means, change, evolve. Change is good. And
Mhm.
some people clearly love this game. This game is actually more for like made for more people than the classic Zelda games, which are what I enjoy. I like earning my stuff. Like Trav said, I don't like things breaking. I want something that's like solid that I could just use. It feels like I earned this. Now I'm going to use it, and oh shit, it's freaking way stronger. I've upgraded my sword. Now it does more damage. Like hell yeah. I don't know. Putting a boulder on a stick is just like, wow. I'm not excited about that at all.
It reminded me of this poking an olive and you're like martini, ding,
Right.
smacking people.
I think the possibilities though, what you saw with Breath of the Wild is hours upon hours and upon hours upon things that were created that you never thought would be created, right? And like this is like a good example.
Weapons, for
here.
example. If we take this long stick and fuse it with a pitchfork, we can create a weapon with a much longer attack range.
Like I think that's fun. And let's say you end up fusing the pitchfork with a sword or something along those lines. I think that's actually really fun. And what I feel is going to happen is there's going to be, specifically in the speedrunning community, is you're going to see this race to fuse two crazy items together, which will be the ultimate game breaker in the game. It'll allow you just to kind of mow through all the enemies and stuff. And Esteban says this is correcting weapon breaking, but you can still, by the way, you can still break weapons in this game. That was kind of a big critique of the first one, which whatever it is, what it is. But you fuse the weapons before breaks. I understand, but I don't know. I really think it's kind of interesting.
With this, we don't have to get too.
I don't necessarily agree with you on this, Adam, because I think this is it's a fun.
You can also fuse arrows with material.
Creating things is kind of what this game's about. So here you go. He takes the arrows
This
here.
leaf to an arrow.
You could fuse them to all sorts of things.
Fuse an ice elemental
To
material
me,
to an
it's
arrow.
becoming like Minecraft Zelda, and I think
Yeah.
that's where my
I'm with it.
issue is.
Yeah.
Sure.
There's something simple about Zelda games. There's just a lot of shit here, and it's like I don't want to have to deal with all that. I just want to play the game and have it be challenging in a way that I don't have to use. I'm not like I use all my buffs, my items and stuff. I like just playing the game instead of having to like deal with all of this shit. I'm
Right.
just not a fan.
And just be as you're playing through and be like, well, should I fuse this arrow with ice, or in a second he fuses it with this eyeball, which it becomes like a heat
When does
seeking
this game come out again?
in a couple months. Yeah.
This is basically like the max for graphics.
Uh,
Like
for the Switch, yeah.
final.
For the Switch, yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's check this out.
And you can freeze faraway enemies.
So now, when you get it, you have ice arrows immediately. You have fire arrows immediately. You can just fuse everything, and you have everything at your disposal. It all comes down to your creativity.
That's what I don't like, though, because then
Very
nothing's
useful.
special. You know what I'm
In
saying?
addition,
I don't know, man. I think this looks really fun. I think I'm in the minority here. I think this looks really fun, though.
Well,
I understand.
And like
graphically.
Ocarina of Time, the light arrows were something special. The frost arrows were something special. You know what I mean? If you can just make everything, what's special?
Right. I don't know. I think of the idea is that you need to kill things to create special things out of your own creativity. So he's gonna craft an arrow with an eyeball here, and it becomes a like a heat-seeking arrow. And he talks about how it's much easier to shoot things now, and I guess that makes sense. See, it kind of locks on, he kills the bird, and there we go. So
I don't know. I'm not really the biggest Switch person. I'd rather play like on my PC. But because I have Breath of the Wild, yeah, I've never actually played it. I feel like I should play that first and decide if I actually want to keep playing like Zelda games.
Mike comes in over on Twitch, says, have to ask Adam, I know you thought Zelda Link Between Worlds is lazy compared to Link to the Past. Did you feel Majora's Mask as a successor to did you like Majora's Mask as successor to Zelda Ocarina of Time? I think we're getting another dose of sharing some same sprite scenery with this new Zelda. Do you think this is more laziness by Nintendo? Do you think
Can you show it so I can read all that? 'Cause
sure,
that
sure.
was way too much. There's
here we
like
go.
3 questions in there.
Yeah.
Wow. A Link Between Worlds was very much just a Link to the Past reskinned with some new style, a new ability to go flat. So I mean, it was. I never played Majora's Mask. I wasn't really interested in it. I tried playing it a little bit, and I was like, I don't know what the hell this shit is. It was weird. But yeah, I mean, it feels like they are trying to milk the Switch for everything it's worth. They know its time is running out. They know there's all other consoles are stronger and new games are happening. So they're reusing as much as they can and pumping this game up to try to just probably make one last hurrah on the Switch before they actually have to make something that competes with the Steam Deck, which is freaking amazing. It's a freaking powerhouse. Consoles. I mean, Nintendo's got to do something to up. I mean, Nintendo's always been more of like the fun console, the family console, the things that people can play. So I don't know.
Man, Blabs, you said something. You're talking about the graphics, and it dawned on me while we were looking at this gameplay that the original Breath of the Wild was originally developed for the Wii U, which was the Nintendo before the Nintendo Switch, and that was 10 years ago now. So for it to have, I understand the idea of like using the same graphical assets, same engine type of thing. I get it, right? But yeah, that was a decade ago now, and it is showing its age. I do think that this doesn't have the same fun look as like the kind of cell shaded look that's kind of timeless. You see those games from like the GameCube that can still be played today because they have that cell shaded look. They're not trying to look too real, right? But I hear it. Blake wants to know how long before everyone is just crafting giant dongs.
Oh dear.
17 inches. Let's continue on here. There's a couple other. This is kind of the big new thing is crafting these things together, like environmental pieces together. And this is clearly a set piece where they have like wood put together and then some fans as he's going to try to cross the river here. So he takes that and he brings it over, and you can kind of create whatever shape you want with it. Bring it over to the river, attach a couple fans to it, and make your way across the river. And you know, they talk about like this is kind of interesting. It's like I like the idea of being able to create different vehicles to kind of go with, and
Yeah, that's
kind of
original.
yeah, it's fun.
You can do whatever you want. That's fun.
They mentioned that early in the original trailer, they showed these here, and these were just pieces from the world that they made. These are not like original vehicles that are placed in the game. This is just something that somebody made, which is, you know, I think that's pretty fun. And the fact that they like made the trailer, I think it's pretty cool. So
It's just so like Minecraft to me. I can't get past
I
that.
hate Minecraft, so I hope not. If I want to play this game, I hate Minecraft.
man, I feel like you guys are not on board with Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
I'm just not a big like Switch person. In all honesty, I'd rather go play Xbox or PC, and maybe that's just me because I didn't grow up on Nintendo, and maybe that's just
Sure.
why. I'm open to try it.
So this is a new ability called Ascend, where you essentially you get to go up through caves and stuff right to the top of whatever mountain you're at, as long as there's like a ceiling. And he said there's some you know, limitations, but I don't know. Like this is the one that I was like, I don't know about that one, because you're just like, it's like a fast travel type thing, where you in the original game you do a lot of climbing and exploring, and this is like, well, we'll just skip right ahead. We'll go into this cave and then go right to the top. This is the one, like, out of all the ones that I was like, doesn't really do a whole lot for me. But you know, to each their own, I guess. This is kind of interesting, where this guy has some sort of fan. He's trying to knock him off the ledge. Conveniently, he scoots back and he gets knocked off the ledge, and then the skydives down into back into Hyrule, I guess. He goes right up against the edge. Oh, sorry.
Some of these abilities look great, and they look like they would be fun. It's just not a Zelda game to me.
You know,
it's a new age Zelda. I mean, it is Zelda, but
Zelda for younger people, maybe younger than me.
Like someone mentioned, you know, they're not allowed to change. Like, yeah, they're allowed to change. Like, it's a new style of Zelda, and it's using the Switch for all it's worth. I mean, I think Mark the Cyborg mentioned when he was playing the original one on Switch, or Breath of the Wild, right? Because this isn't Breath of the Wild 2. This is Tears of the Kingdom. But
yep,
when a thunderstorm came by, the Switch would freaking go. All the fans would turn on full power just because it needed to cool it down. I think Nintendo needs to come up with something strong, powerful.
That was mentioned. That was mentioned in the chat. They say, well, it's not exactly running wonderfully. You know, I didn't really notice it running that poorly, at least in this demo. But maybe I'm wrong. Platypunk says, I feel like if this was a different franchise, it would be received much. It would be much better received. I think there's truth to that.
I like that
I
name,
agree.
Avatar.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
Yeah, that's awesome. And M. Fredder came in with a gifted sub over on Twitch to Bad Mr. Frothy. That's amazing. Thank you so much, M. Fredder. Great to see you. Greatly appreciate the support today. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think this. I want to open up a poll to everybody, and just after watching that, are you excited? Are you excited for?
Craig would normally not do this. If Blabs and I were totally about this game, this poll wouldn't be happening. I'm just saying.
Right. You're right.
Just saying. He's like, I'm outnumbered on this panel. I need to get
not
confirmation.
I have no problem.
You can say whatever you want.
I have no problem
I know
being outnumbered at all. But I am curious.
Labs, you know I'm right.
I am curious to see if the chat.
Hold on, let me go click no on this.
Well, I'll say this right now. Just looking at the initial poll results, are way surprising. Like I thought it would be.
What you thought everyone would be excited for this?
I thought it'd be like 70-30. Right now it's 55% that are excited. GK comes in, and this is actually kind of funny. The Zelda Nuts and Bolts. That's a reference to the Banjo-Kazooie game from a few years ago, where you pretty much did this exact same stuff.
Yes,
in the game.
Yes, you did.
$70. That's what I'm seeing in the chat for that.
Yeah, no poll over on Twitch, but poll over on YouTube right now. So once again,
Sorry, for $70, that's a hard fat no.
wow,
Mhm.
and this is actually considerably like now it's 53%. It's getting closer and closer. So if you guys are watching, vote at the top. Like that's for a Zelda game. That is it's pretty divisive, man.
And
That's very divisive.
don't get me wrong. I think there will be people who love this game. It'll be a great game. It's just not for me. I love Twilight Princess and Ocarina of Time and stuff like that. And I love
Ocarina of Time
SNES.
was great.
Right. It's just not for me.
Yeah. Well, it's 52 to 48% right now. So I mean, it's very, very 51-49. This is like that's a polarizing game, and I wish I could go a step further with that. Is if you owned a Zelda game previously, does this meet your expectations of the Zelda franchise? I mean, obviously, some people are like super passionate about it in the chat. I see Toxic Dubs is like he's clearly all on board with this game. He's super excited.
Toxic is very much a Zelda fan.
Right.
And that's okay, Toxic. You're allowed.
Yeah. I 100% agree. It's right now
If
the
you
poll
have
is
fun with the game, awesome. We're not saying no to that.
50-50 right now. 50-50.
Wow.
Yes
See, and
to no.
It blows my mind that I see so many people saying they hated Twilight Princess. That like fucks with me a little bit.
Yeah, that's insane. Like the fact that it's that polarizing between the games. I mean, there's like 1 or 2 votes separating between yes and no right now. Because I'm watching on my end, and it keeps fluctuating between
Wow,
yes
it's
and no,
50-50.
even though it's 50-50.
That's
Which,
crazy.
yeah, I mean that's crazy. And no is actually taking the lead, 51-49. That's insane. Yeah. Shane Kim says, I'm pumped for this one. Wind Waker is a personal favorite Zelda, but Breath of the Wild is a close second. The exploration aspect is something I really dig. Blabs and Adams are just negative Nancy's.
I'm a
Okay.
Nancy.
Negative Nancy's. Well, I'll tell you, you're not alone, because once again, we're talking, it's 51-49. No. Are you excited for Tears of the
Hey,
Kingdom?
More
I
power
never.
to you. If you like the game and you want to play it, awesome. I personally just don't think it's that great, but like I said, I'm kind of biased. I've never really played like a Nintendo game. They've never really like made me go crazy. I just play like Mario Kart and all that.
Yeah,
Well-
I've been gaming for 30 years, and I know what I like to play. I know the game elements that I enjoy, and that doesn't have them. So I just know that game is not for me. I don't like that. Certain games have a good balance between crafting and gameplay, and this one just seemed to be weighted in a direction where I didn't enjoy it. So I am definitely not interested in this next game, because it just feels like they're leaning further into it. They're like, oh, it was very successful, so it must have worked. Well, it clearly did for 49% of 259 votes. And that's fine. Like I don't care. It's a bummer because I love Zelda games, but there's so many games out there. There's still my Steam game list is filled with games I haven't finished yet. So it's like I'm not upset that it's not a game for me. I'm glad that I like Nintendo as a company. I think that they make great stuff and stick to their guns and go with what they want to do. And like, that's great. I want more companies like that. From Software, it's my favorite, who are like, we're not going to make an easy mode. No, we don't. There's one mode, and it's From Software, and that's it. And I love that. We need more of that.
Chief Scarnett coming in with a member for 3 months has got to love non-Nintendo fans throwing out these bad takes. Let me say this real quick about that. And Scarnett, I appreciate the remembership, but it's the as Nintendo as a company, you want to get the non-Nintendo fans to have good takes about your games, because ultimately they will come over and play your game. That's the whole objective of, like, why do you make games? You make games to sell the console. These killer apps are designed to be system sellers, right? Zelda is a system seller. Adam just said he bought Breath of the Wild. He brought the Switch to play Breath of the Wild, right?
It's true.
That's the entire purpose of them making these games, is for you to buy the console that you can play their other games on. Because once they have you, then you're going to buy 2. You'll buy 3. You'll buy 5. And if non-Nintendo fans are looking at this and going like, then that's a problem. Like, that is a problem. I'm a Nintendo fan. I'm gonna play this game. I'm gonna enjoy it.
And
I'm
how do-
also
how
a
do you
Nintendo
know?
fan. Hold on. I need to clarify though.
Yeah,
I
so am
love
I.
Nintendo. I've had my Game Boy was my first. I had Nintendo, I had Super Nintendo, I had 64, I have the Switch, I have the 3DS. Like I love Nintendo. I grew up playing Nintendo. Nintendo's fantastic. I will probably get whatever Nintendo decides to produce next as a console because I support Nintendo. Just because I'm not interested in this Zelda game, people are
Yeah,
freaking
just
out, and that
one
says a lot
game.
more about you guys than it does about me.
Well,
One
it's
game.
Pretty funny, actually.
Well,
Yeah,
there's
I was gonna ask, how do you know somebody's a Nintendo fan? I'm a Nintendo fan too, but apparently he thinks I'm not. So
yeah. Rich
funny.
from Review Tech came in and says my issue, the price increase to $70 for the game. Yeah, I think that just comes with inflation, man.
With
That's
reused
been
assets,
crazy.
Right.
it's like $70. It's like I'm telling you, they're squeezing the Switch for everything they can, so that they can move on to the next thing.
I personally think that $70 is a bit high. Then again, I don't buy Nintendo games, but like $70 was about around the price for like Hogwarts Legacy, and the graphics are a lot better, and it's a lot bigger game than Nintendo. So I'm kind of like, bang
Well,
for buck.
Blabs, I don't know about that. I don't know the idea of saying Hogwarts Legacy has a bigger game than Breath of the Wild because I
I
think
don't know, but like graphic wise,
graphically,
like,
sure, but
so I'm just like,
I think that people will get way more playtime out of
probably. I don't know.
Tears of the
Never
Kingdom
played
for
it.
sure.
I will
Yeah.
play it. It's on my to-do list after Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yeah.
I have to install it.
Final results of the poll. It was 51 to 49%. Technically, it says 51% no to 48% yes. I don't know how that works. 1% was not included. So that's kind of shocking to me. I did not expect it to be that to be the results. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm excited for the game. I'll definitely play it.
Good.
But I think that the idea of seeing. It goes back to, once again, are you making this game that appeals to the non-Nintendo fans? Are you going to sell more Switch consoles because of this? But I do think that the eventual game plan is to be like, here it was on the Switch, but here it is on the Switch too, and look at how much better it looks. I think that's kind of the ultimate idea behind what's happening right now. So
Okay.
yeah, you'll probably play it, probably enjoy it, and I'll probably watch you play it, and I'll probably enjoy watching you play it. But it's not for me.
Right.
I wouldn't have fun playing it.
you motherfucker. Yes, it is.
How dare you?
Right. Commander Keynes came in and says older Zelda games were quality over quantity. Breath of the Wild had a gigantic world, but only few memorable areas. I
Well said.
could see that. I could see that. Tommy Reviews comes in with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Tommy. He says, wasn't a fan of Breath of the Wild's emptiness of an open world, lack of dungeons, weapon durability. Sequel's price tag of $70 makes it an easy pass. Oh, that's interesting. Hey, Trap, pull up how many copies of Breath of the Wild were sold. Just curious.
Craig is like low key triggered by all this.
No, not at all. No.
No,
he says.
Hey, go ahead and pull up them
Stop
sales
it!
up.
Stop talking to me like.
Pull them
20
sales up. Let me
20
shit all over this comment real quick.
No. What I'm curious about is how many they sold versus if people bought initially are not going to come back and buy the second time. And let's just say it's 50%. I'm just curious. Like
29 million, and Pokemon Sword and Shield sold 25.68 million.
29 million copies. That's crazy. Tess says excited is a strong word for me personally. Curious is a better word, perhaps. I like Breath of the Wild in certain aspects, and I didn't like it in others. I actually agree with that. I very much agree with that. I thought there were things that I really liked about Breath of the Wild that I did not like that I very much did not like. I thought the music in Breath of the Wild was very good in certain spots, but there's also spots where it's just like you and some crickets, and birds chirping, and I don't know. I want that bump, as you're going around and exploring and stuff. But
I want to play the Breath of the Wild where there's no crafting at all. Just like a classic Zelda game where you go and fight stuff and earn something. It could be open world, but get rid of the crafting system, get rid of all the freaking the items that you collect and and all that bullshit, and I will enjoy that game significantly more.
There is a
Seriously.
it was mentioned in the chat that the original Zelda on the NES, the very, very first one, was like about as open world as you can get. You know, just kind of like, here it is, go find it, go figure it out.
I
Um,
disagree because you had to go from level 1 to level 2 to level 3 to
but you needed
level
to
4
find them.
to level right. But it was structured. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have a choice. You could go see these other things, but you couldn't get past a point in them.
Mhm.
And so that is not open world. You could walk around, sure, but you could do that in any Zelda game.
So it's the illusion of an open world while still maintaining linear path.
Which for 1987 was what you got. You know, I mean, you got to remember this. This is 35 years old now at this point, 36, whatever it is.
But
I
it's
th-
not.
I-
But it's not open world though.
Right. And I think Ocarina of Time was the illusion of an open world. But it
Right.
was not.
And it did a good job of that, and because it's like, yeah, explore. Oh, this boulder is too heavy. You can't lift it yet. Well, it turns out you get the gauntlets that let you lift that boulder in Dungeon 2. So if you actually go back and do Dungeon 2, oh, you can't get into Dungeon 2 because you need the feather to be able to jump over the pit that's in front of it, and then that's in Dungeon 1. So then you finally make your way back, and it's like, cool, I'm exploring I can't wait to now get into this spot. But I have to actually earn it or earn the thing. And then now I got it. Now I can actually go, oh, there's actually a secret area that I can go explore that I found that I can now get into because I now have earned this item. I don't know. The
Right.
That's-
crafting throws me off.
I'll
That's
say
what I
this.
meant by it makes everything, things aren't special anymore.
Well,
When you earn something to get somewhere, to you, it feels like special. And that item, you did something to get it. You know what I mean?
Well, in the original Zelda, you could do them out of order. There were several dungeons that you didn't have to do in specific order. I mean,
Right. But for example, you couldn't get past the meat guy without the meat. Where do you get the meat?
right,
You know what I mean?
right. Yeah, for sure. But I mean, it's been a long time since I played Breath of the Wild, but and there-
Blab is like, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
No
The
idea
meat
what
guy,
you're talking
the
about.
meat guy with the meat. What?
you got to hand the guy the meat. But in Breath of the Wild, there are 4 main areas that you do have to beat. And it doesn't matter what order you beat them in, but you do have to do them before you get to Ganon. I guess technically you don't because people speed run through, but it's a very small percentage of people who can actually do that. Evan came in with the $27.99. Evan, thank you so much. That is ridiculously nice. $27.99 super chat says, though my excitement isn't at all the same level as Breath of the Wild, you can only wow someone once, but I'm anticipating playing it. I've never been let down by a Zelda game, and I know I'll enjoy it. I think that's
I love
a really
that. I love that energy.
yeah,
Yeah,
That's the energy.
That's great.
yeah. Like I love the idea
Power
that
to
like
you if you have fun.
Evan's right. You can't only be wowed one time, and the initial wow factor Breath of the Wild was there. So we'll kind of see what they do with this if there is a wow factor. Rich comes in. Thank you so much, Rich. Says Nintendo's going full weekend at Bernie's with the Nintendo Switch.
That's what I'm saying. Yep.
Just
Nailed
holding
it.
up a dead corpse. Look at it. He's waving at you. The Wandering Traveler vlog came in, says, just joined in. It is today National Flannel Day. Hope you guys are doing well. Sending love from the UK.
Somewhere.
Yes.
Somewhere
Yes.
it is.
It is in Guam. We're celebrating Guam's National Flannel Day. So
Imagine if it actually is. I mean, I would totally know, but you guys don't know.
we just wanted to celebrate with you.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Good friends.
Tommy says Breath of the Wild's village building quest was really good. I don't recall that. Was that a DLC thing? I don't remember that. There was so much. The thing about Breath of the Wild that I really love was that there are parts of the game that I've watched on YouTube that I never even saw in the game. Places on the map that I never even explored, and I still beat the game. Like I think that's pretty cool, personally. The Glitch Witch says, it was clear from the first announcement Tears was going to be a direct sequel to Breath of the Wild. So the interest of Tears is correlated to whether or not you like Breath of the Wild. They're not going to deviate too much.
That's fair.
Thank you, Glitch Witch. I think that is fair for sure. Ames came in with it says, I'm excited for this, but I'm going but I'm going in blind. Okay, you're going. Okay, so you're going in blind.
That's
without
very
actually-
ableist. That's ableist.
You can't say blind
talk.
anymore.
I'm blind.
Oh Lord, you able-bodied.
That was my Anchorman impersonation.
I don't know if you remember, but Twitch changed their blind playthrough to
What,
something
not
different.
seen?
Yeah, something. I don't remember what they changed it to, but it was ableist. So because people who were actually blind were like, oh, actually, I don't even think it was the blind people. I think it was those
The people who advocate
I
for
don't know.
other people just
yeah,
because they
the
can.
people were like, someone somewhere will be offended, so we got to change it.
Oh Christ!
Yeah, one of those.
It's
The scene impaired. Oh jeez.
Oh, man.
My
Twitch
favorite one, I think, is like Robin Hood Men in Tights, where Blinken Lee smacks into the tree and he's like, "Up, never mind." After he's like, "I can see."
yeah,
That's a
ran in and
great movie.
It's my
Yeah.
Brooks,
favorite
man.
movie. Favorite. I watched it when I was a kid, and I was like, I started quoting it everywhere. Love it.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I see it right now. It says recently Twitch, however, removed the blind playthrough tag following concerns about ableist language.
Jeez.
What did they change it to? What does it say?
First playthrough.
First
playthrough.
playthrough. So stupid.
I mean, people were saying that anyway. It was just another way of saying blind. Ugh.
Fucking clown world, man. It's
Whatever.
ridiculous. Rob on Wheels comes in and says, this is meant to be a sequel. And don't forget, we're only seeing 15 minutes. This is true. But once again, those 15 minutes are meant to get people that are not already Nintendo fans or Breath of the Wild fans excited for it. So, you should be showing your best, leading up to the launch of a game, getting people, that's the idea of a trailer, is you want to get people super interested in it. But thank you, Rob. Appreciate that.
Yeah, the people who love Zelda to the point of I'm going to play any Zelda that comes out, they're already going to play it. You're already convinced. Toxic, he is triggered because we're not interested. He's definitely going to play it, no
Good
matter
for
what.
him.
Clearly loves Zelda, and it's like, okay, that's fine. But as Craig said, it's those people are already going to play it. So it's for the people who aren't interested, who don't even care, and they're like, oh, this actually looks fun. Maybe I'll pick up a Switch to play this game.
Can I read something real quick?
Sure.
So, this is fascinating. Every
Can you
single
move your
Zelda,
mic a little bit further away?
Yeah.
It's a little hot.
sorry,
Thank you.
every single Zelda game
Bring
sold,
it back a little bit more.
um,
There you go.
up until then, sold less than 10 million copies. Every single one of them.
Okay.
Until Breath of the Wild sold 29.49 million copies.
Yeah, but that's not surprising to me. It's more of it doesn't appeal to just Zelda fans. It's people who like open world, people who like collecting things and
Well, and that's why I was reading it. 'cause
roaming
you-
around. Craig said his kids like just doing nothing.
Right.
It's just a pretty game, especially for kids. Like it's anyone could just roam around and have a good time. So
And that's why I read
understand
that. Because I thought you guys both made a good point about how this is bringing in people who wouldn't normally be Zelda fans. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I think that's literally what they're doing.
So let's say this game sells 15 million copies, right? Is that still that's still a ridiculous success, right? Because I mean, you sold more than
On
any other
average.
Zelda game ever outside of the original Breath of the Wild, right? That's a ridiculous success. That's $70 a pop. I mean,
Actually, the only one close is the Twilight Princess at 10 million copies.
Twilight Princess sold 10 million copies on the GameCube. Wow.
But you have to remember that was released on the Wii, the Wii U, and just like Twilight or Breath of the Wild was released on the Wii U. Of course, they only sold 1.7 million copies on the Wii U, but it was sold on the Wii U and Switch.
We're gonna play the math game in a minute, just for giggles in just a second. But before we do, I want to let you know, Embraceware came in with a $10 Canadian super chat. It says this is really for anyone who enjoyed Breath of the Wild and would like something familiar with an expansion. Zelda 2 is my favorite, and it's a side scroller. Zelda 2 was interesting for sure. It's not my favorite Zelda 2, but it is something that I'd say it has its own little niche. Infredder came in with 100 bits. Says, well, if it's not 17 inches, and he said Blaz, but I'm going to put me. Craig's not interested. Thank you, Fred. Appreciate that. Mike says the crazy part is that I remember when SNES games were $70 back in the day, like Chrono Trigger. Cost actually went down
game.
after a while. Yeah. Funny how we're going back to higher prices, and all of a sudden, all of a sudden, guess it's inflation related, and that's at least the angle they're using, right? For sure. I mean, I think all three major companies have said their first party games will be $70 moving ahead, and you're right. I think Super Metroid was $80 in 1993, which is like $150 now.
I have a correction on what I said. Ocarina of Time actually sold 14 million, and Link's Awakening sold 12. So those two are up there as well.
Okay, you need to make another correction because you cannot keep saying Ocarina.
It's not. They're not orcs. It's not an orc whistle.
It's an ocarina. I'm gonna murder you, Travis. And Brenner says, Craig, as busy as you are, where the hell do you have time to play video games? Great question. When my kids are playing, I'll watch them. Thank you, Impredator. Appreciate that. And he also followed up, says, as a parent of someone who will never talk, and kid is intellectually 3 for the rest of his life, please kill me now with this ableist PC crap. Impredator, I will not. We will not kill you at all.
Yeah.
Let's do some quick math on this. I'm just always intrigued by this. Let me pull this up. We were talking about the cost of these games, right? And the $70 price point is like a triggering point for a lot of folks. Like, it's $70. I can't do $70. And I think it's because so many people are are tied to the $60 price tag. It's everything's 60. You know, that's been the standard bearer for literally 15 years now, 15, 20 years. Like, top games are $60. But you guys know I always like to bust out the calculator, so we will.
Here we go.
We did. So Breath of the Wild was $60, right? And how many copies of the game were sold? Travis, 29 million.
Something like that, yeah.
29 million copies.
29.
Okay, let's just do some quick math. There's 29,000. There's 29 million. 60 times 29 million. Now, once again, you know what? Let's actually change that, because you buy them from GameStop at $60, but Nintendo sells them to them for like $45, $44. We'll just say 55.
I can find out the cost of making it too. Give me one moment.
But let's just, whatever. Yeah, and we'll just do some math. So I did one too many. There we go. 29 million. So Breath of the Wild made $1.6 billion.
Sweet. Good job, Nintendo.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
The cost is $10.
Cost to
So
make
minus $10 a unit. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, pretty much minus $290 million, pretty much is what it cost. So they ended up making $3 billion, $1.2 billion. So it's like,
And
crazy.
This is why I think Nintendo is a good investment, because they have all these assets. They can just pump games out,
Right.
Not that they all sell like this, but.
And let's just say that once again, they're selling 15 million copies of Tears of the Kingdom, which would be Tears of the Kingdom, which would be half of what they sold Breath of the Wild at, right? And they're selling it at $70. Let's just say they're selling it to retailers at 60, right? So you have a $900 million game. So it's like using the same assets and everything. So it's really a no-brainer. It's like, yes, it'll be ridiculously successful. And you wonder how Nintendo just continues to print money. That
even only doing half as good, they make $1 billion. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
That's insane to think about. Manny, thank you so much coming in with the $4.99 super chat. Says, unrelated, can Travis play us some Lionel Richie on that piano? Piano behind you.
Travis, do you know how to play piano?
I know how to play the right hand, not the left hand. I taught
Me
myself
too,
how to
only
play the
funny
right
enough.
What's up? Nice.
What's up? What did that mean?
What is
play
that?
the right hand.
I didn't
play
get
the right
that.
hand, not the left hand. I don't know.
Well, that's because it's different key.
Yeah, I can't do the chords on the left hand because I played and band like 4 instruments, so I can read the right hand. I can't read
Same.
music
Look
with
at
the left
that.
hand.
We're bonding.
I like it.
Adam's like, yeah, noobs.
A bunch of idiots.
I don't play piano.
Oh,
I play
okay,
guitar.
then you can't talk.
All right.
I wasn't. What?
I just felt like you were judging. You're like, I'm a musician.
What the fuck, Blabs?
I'm just being sassy with you. It's all good.
What's up with the sassiness? It's ridiculous. It's
I did
ridiculous.
nothing to deserve this.
Yeah.
Let's move on to our next story as we keep it civil and we keep it in the Nintendo world. Blabs, let's keep it civil. All right.
Yeah,
Jeez.
Blabs.
I feel
right.
like I need to wear the dunce cap.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm going to tell you this right now. We're instituting a dunce cap from here on out because number one, it's not politically correct. Number two, it's awesome. We're going to institute it. I'm going to make sure we send a dunce cap to everybody.
Should we also make a list of words we can't say? Figure?
Figure?
That I'm not allowed to say apparently, because apparently I say it wrong.
Let's
All
not
right.
start that again.
Or
Orcarina. Oh my God. Yeah. Did you tag that, by the way? When we're talking about putting together a clip of all the things we can't say, make sure you go back and tag that.
I will.
Trevor. All right. So yesterday was a sad day for a lot of folks because they lost a console that they hadn't played in a long time, at least the eShop version of it. This is always one of those things where things get shut down and people go, no, I haven't played it in 7 years, but I'm going to be upset about it now.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
but that's
do people really care about this? The
well,
3DS shop has been pretty like stagnant for like 5 years.
mhm.
I have the 3DS and I love the 3DS. I think it's a freaking awesome console. It's awesome. It's probably my favorite Game Boy that I've owned. And just because of the stylus and the game, when a game does it right, it was freaking awesome. And the 3D was really amazing. But I don't know. They stopped caring about as soon as the Switch came out. Pretty much the 3DS they were like, meh, we're making more money on the Switch. Who cares about the 3DS?
well, and I guarantee you it's Nintendo. If they were making more money leaving it open, they would just leave it open.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's probably
True.
the cost of it's too much.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, those of you who have a 3DS and are upset, sorry. Those of you who have a Wii U and are upset about the eShop, sorry. You can no
I don't
longer
think I've ever
possibly
used the
purchase.
Wii Shop.
I love my
Ever.
3DS. This thing is look at you could see the amount of
Scratches, yeah.
Yeah.
that's the stylus spot. Brain Age, awesome game. I think it's probably in there. What's in here right now? Brain Age, yeah. Awesome game.
All right, let's move on to our next story here. That's just a quick hit because it's like, who cares? Well, some people will, but
This
you know,
is funny, dude.
you did see the completionist. Did you guys see that whole thing with the completionist? He bought
Yeah.
every single game, spent like $20,000 in every game. It's just crazy to think about. Yeah, good for him.
For him, that he has that disposable money and he has all them copies of them games now.
Well, I'd be curious. Let me just do a quick dig on that. I'm curious to see
What
what
would
that-
be curious, Craig?
I'm curious about is what his.
Oh, you're the one who'd be curious. Okay.
Yes, I'm curious to see how many views that video had, and if he can make his 20 grand back.
It pays for
From that.
itself.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. That video right now has 835,000 views.
Oh yeah, it pays
So-
for itself.
He didn't make
No.
20 grand from that.
No.
Double it, right?
I don't know. He's nowhere near 20 grand on that. But
No, it's $1,000 per million views. That's what it is, right? Or give or take.
it depends. It depends on the category you're in. Gaming pays the least.
Oh.
Gaming has the worst CPM of all categories on YouTube. It's ridiculous because there's a lot of people using it. So, all right, let's move on. Listen, someone was asking about the news desk the other day. They said, well, I want you to bring back the news desk, and the news desk is like kind of integrated into just the news that we talk about on a day-to-day basis. So here's your news desk with
Hard news.
No, wait.
Yes.
Sorry, no.
our
that-
news desk.
Sorry.
This is a story that Adam really, really wanted to talk about. So I'm going to let you take the lead on this, Adam.
It's
Go ahead.
funny. All right. So scientists
Oh my
grow
God.
a mammoth meatball. That's right. Mammoth meat. They recreated mammoth meat and they were too afraid to eat it. And I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to eat some mammoth meatball myself. But let me actually let me pull it up so I can actually read it because I can't read that.
I
there you
just
go.
love this story.
So what's curious about this is they had mammoth meat from 10,000 years ago, and they were
Yeah. Yeah.
they
Yeah,
like
they had frozen baby they found. Remember with the spray.
As used by dates go, this meatball is just a few thousand years past its best. That's because it contains the resurrected flesh of a woolly mammoth, a beast that went extinct some 10,000 years ago. The prehistoric meatball was made by an Australian cultivated meat company that ultimately wants to mix and match cells from unconventional species to create new kinds of meat.
then it's not meat.
Oh,
It's not
this
meat.
this is not a good sign. And
No.
you have the other article ready? I'm just okay.
I do.
Okay. Scientists took the DNA sequence from the mammoth muscle protein and filled in the gaps with code from an elephant, the
Ugh.
species' closest living relative. This sequence was then placed in the myoblast stem cell from a sheep, which replicated to grow 20 billion cells that were in turn used to grow the mammoth meat. However, despite creating what they hope would be a really tasty meat, the experts are too afraid to eat it in case the ancient protein proves deadly.
Isn't this literally Jurassic Park shit?
Right?
Yeah, it's friggin' this is how the zombie apocalypse starts.
Yep.
Look at all like the smoke around this meatball too. Like they're
Well,
literally doing
what
all
are they
that just to make
what
it
are they
more
trying to are they trying to
Yeah.
make it seem like I
like,
want to eat that?
"Whoa,
It's,
look, a
And why so
meatball."
smokiness.
large? Why did it have to be like a foot across? Like,
well,
who
it's
would want to eat
mammoth
that anyway?
They gotta do it up, right?
Okay. Right.
Mammoth style.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that you were asking, like, when I looked at it, you said it's like a foot across, and I was like, that can't be that big. It's all about the size. But then you see there's actually a fork over here and a knife over here. That is a giant meatball.
It's like a giant meatball.
That is disgusting. Hard pass. I'd rather go to IKEA and eat the Swedish meatballs.
So instead of
Whoa,
Craig
the Swedish
giving away-
meatballs are amazing. Get
oh
out of
yeah,
here.
that's what I'm saying. I love them. I'd rather go there. If I'm gonna eat meatballs, go there.
So
I'm
All
gonna
my
instead
say
of
mom's.
I have a
ahead.
solution, Travis. I have a solution here. Right? If the scientists don't want to try the mammoth meatball,
There
the
you go.
easy solution is to take it and send it to Africa.
there you go. That's what I was waiting for. Yes.
Yes.
And eating is a ball.
That's how you do it. You own your shit, all right?
You
Oh,
send
but
it to
I can't-
Africa.
I can't let this go though. Blabs, when you say I would rather eat X, usually the X is something that's also gross. Also
no, I'm
disgusting.
saying I would rather go eat a meatball that tastes good.
Yeah, so would everyone. You know
Well, maybe
this-
there's some
the
ding dong out there. It's like, oh, let me try this. You know, there are
Wait.
weirdos out there.
What if the mammoth
alone,
meatball is the tastiest meatball that's ever been created? What
Why
if
don't
there's
you
a
find out and let me know?
I'm just
She's
saying.
got a point, Craig.
What's that? You find out, let me know.
Yeah, try it.
No,
What-
I'm
what
gonna
if-
let
what
my
if you're right?
I'm gonna let my representatives in Zimbabwe try it first.
Wow. No, we should hit these scientists up and be like, listen, we got a guy who loves balls. All right. This guy
Big
straight
balls.
up loves balls. He's been trying to
All
get into the meatball industry
He's not
for
even judging.
decades
All
now.
balls.
All right. Oh, nearly 2 decades long of really trying to break through the meatball market and is looking for something unique. This might be the answer. Let's meet up. Send us some of your mammoth meatballs. We'll have the guy try it. I know you guys are scared.
Yeah.
He comes back and it's like zombie Craig. Welcome to side scrollers. It's like, oh, Craig.
Yep. That's
You ate the meatball, didn't you?
You tried it. Yep. As Platypunk says, forbidden meatball.
Mm.
Simpsons reference right there. I love it. Oh my god. All right. Well, that I guess that'll parlay into our next story that was hoped to be talked about. Continue, Adam.
Yeah. So this is I don't know if you know much about the permafrost in Siberia that's thawing out, and they're finding all this stuff they thought was extinct, and it's thawing, so they're finding this stuff. So scientists have revived a zombie virus that spent 48,500 years frozen in the permafrost, and yeah, the zombie apocalypse. We got mammoth meatballs. We got zombie viruses coming back.
It's Clown World.
What does this mean? What is a zombie virus? Tell me more.
Oh, I mean, have you seen The Last of Us?
Yeah.
No.
So it's basically a mycelial virus that takes over, and the humans aren't necessarily zombies. They're more like dead, where the fungus is controlling them, and that actually exists in real life. There's actually uh, these funguses that take over insects, and the insects would actually become zombies,
that's
zombified
disgusting.
insects. Yeah,
And
no,
they
it
want
really
us to eat
happens.
bugs now, huh?
Fascinating, actually.
Yeah, there's one that needs cows to get into the stomach of cows for them to thrive and continue. So they'll take over an ant's body, and the ant will go about its day, and it'll just like work for the queen. But then at night, it goes and sits on a blade of grass, hoping to get eaten by a cow. And then if it doesn't get eaten, it goes back and resumes its normal ant work, like nothing's wrong. And then it goes back at night and sits on a blade of grass, hoping to get eaten by a cow to get into the cow's stomach to then procreate and continue the cycle. So, like, this stuff already kind of exists. Luckily, nothing has affected the human body. All right. But, oh, shit, I can't
But wait
say
till
what
it
I was
starts
about to say.
affecting like dogs and shit. And we got
Well,
zombie dogs.
how can I say this that will be approved for YouTube? Hopefully certain labs don't do work on this kind of stuff to weaponize them. That's all I can say without saying too much.
Oh, I
Agreed.
see what you're saying.
Oh yeah. The
that
past
is-
5 years.
Ridiculous.
20 years, 30, 50 years, probably
Yeah.
100 years.
Well, once again, it goes
Anyway.
back to like, why would somebody be like, yeah, I really think we need to revive the zombie virus? Like, at
Yeah,
what point,
why?
you know?
Why are they making super flus and shit? Well, they say because they can genetically engineer the cold virus and the flu virus to eat
Careful.
cancer cells or whatever they say, you know. So
Right.
that's why they're doing it. But
Hmm.
then it can kill 60 million people.
Careful. Careful.
Omega Kirk says, keep it away from the Chinese and the Russians. No, keep it away from everybody. Like everybody.
Agreed.
No.
Agreed. Keep it away from everyone.
Just, how
Maybe
about
we should just leave it where it was. Leave it frozen in permafrost.
That's gross.
So there you go. If that doesn't
Kill it with fire.
terrify you
Yep.
every
Burn
day,
it. Burn that shit.
just constantly thinking about how the world's going to end, just nonstop. Oh my God, just terrifying. But between nuclear war and pandemics, and now zombie viruses that are don't forget the murder hornets. You
Where'd
know,
they go?
Yeah, they all just kind of left, didn't they? It's weird.
Fear is a real seller.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad. People are so
You guys are
afraid
probably
nowadays.
old enough. Do you guys remember the Killer Bee specials from the 90s? Like they're coming from Mexico.
Oh yeah, yeah.
they're taking over everybody's houses, and I remember the one they were like getting in the house. It freaked me out as a kid. The movies.
I saw this chart of all the things that we were supposed to be scared of over the last like 30 years. It's just like the nonstop. Every year there's something new that you're supposed to be terrified of. And it's like, oh yeah, I remember that. It's just amazing. And you're right, man. The fear attached to it. So once again, why are we trying to bring more negative into the world? Let's just
Right.
zombie would be great. Let's just make everyone zombies.
Yep.
I'll pass. I'm good.
At least I'll probably be happy.
Okay.
Eating brains.
I won't know I'm doing it. So
Yes. So what's the first thing you would eat if you were a zombie?
I have never thought about that. I don't know.
I can't imagine that's something
I
that
feel
sit
like
around
you would
thinking
say
about.
balls.
That's great. That was great.
Going some meatballs. Love it.
It's like I'm going to IKEA.
Good stuff. All right. Quick show today. Quick. Do we have anything else before we wrap?
No, it's funny. That was good. We
Trav?
enjoyed it.
Okay, sounds good. We're gonna head over to Patreon today. Patreon.com/sidescrolls. We want to thank you guys for your super chats, your bits, your memberships, your subscriptions. Thank you guys very much. That's how these folks are supported. So make sure you guys continue your support. We greatly appreciate it. Head over to patreon.com/sidescrolls. If one of you were to join me, I'd really appreciate that. If you're thinking about it, you're on the fence, so it'd be a great day for you to join us over there. I would love for you to join us over there and become number 231 over at Patreon. If we can get to 260, God, that'd be awesome. With that said, where's my music? Where is it? I can't do this without the music. I need it. It'll bring it down. There's Metastep. The last step. $10 super chat, a little bit extra support at the end. Says, I was really into mycology for a while. Still love it. Cordyceps is one of those mushrooms that infects insects and takes them over. The only mushrooms I've ever heard infecting humans is called split gills. Interesting. Thank you very much, Metastep. Greatly appreciate that. That's very, very generous to you, and thanks for the heads up on that. Good stuff. All right. So with that said, we're going to head over to patreon.com/sidescrolls. I'm sure we're going to continue this conversation about fear and zombie balls and all sorts
Lots of balls.
stuff. All sorts of stuff.
All the balls.
But guys, thank
Mammoth
you so much for
size
popping in.
balls. Anyway.
This big. Right, go on.
We'll find out. They were this big. God. All right, guys, remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got a goal. Go get it. Twitch, we're going to say goodbye to you guys very, very shortly. And YouTube, we'll say goodbye to you guys very shortly. Once again, patreon.com/sidescrolls is the place to be. I'm trying to wait for my music to wrap up at the best point possible.
Just
Waiting
cut
for
it.
Okay.
Just cut it. I got
Bye.
something
This
for
Bye,
you.
Travis
Twitch.
playing his
Bye.
right hand, guys.
Fatality.
All
Oh,
right.
that music ended perfectly.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at ending it there. There you go. And YouTube, we'll see you guys over at Patreon. Once again, become a member. We'll see you guys there.
Fatality.